Hey everybody, it's Cotton here, and I am bringing you Splinter Cell Chaos Theory for the Xbox. It's been a while since I've played Splinter Cell, so I'm really glad to be getting back into it. This is one of my favorite games of all time, probably one of my top 5. And so I know I've done like 2 games in a row that would be my one of my top 5 favorite games, but I like doing what I love, and I love Splinter Cell, so I'm really glad to be doing this one now. So, this game will be just like my playthroughs of the previous 2 games. It will be full stealth, meaning that I will not knock out any enemies, nor will I kill any of them. I will not trigger any alarms, I will not get seen by anyone, I will complete every level pretty much without even touching anyone or letting them know I was there. I will also be completing every level at 100%, except for one, and I will explain once I get to that level why that will be the case. But if you haven't played this game before, you have some training videos here. They opted out of having an actual training level or any type of level to tell you how to do all of your moves, and so they have all of these little videos that you can watch where Sam gives his own little commentary over them and kind of shows you not only what the gadgets do or how the game plays, but kind of how you're supposed to be playing the game, so stealthy and not killing people and all that. But with that, I will be playing the game on the hardest difficulty. Let's get started.
Looks like a Chinese Jiangwei-class cruiser with a North Korean destroyer escort.
Events in the Yellow Sea took a turn for the worse today when North Korean and Chinese forces blockaded and boarded a Japanese cargo ship. The North Korean government released no official statement, and their ambassador remained out of contact. While at the UN, Chinese Ambassador Long Dan urged the U.S. and her longtime Japanese allies to remain calm, calling the blockades a legitimate response to what the rest of Asia views as a possible remilitarization of Japan.
This blockade is an act of war. The NSC is working on a formal response, and they've ordered the USS Walsh to close at flank speed. The Walsh is the most advanced spy ship in history. My best man will be on board. What do you know? Chinese and North Korean ships working together again.
It's what we expected.
That's a 056 prototype, Chinese.
Exactly.
How are your sea legs?
I haven't lost them.
Good. Because the 056 prototype isn't the only new fish in the pond.
Admiral Toshiro Otomo, head of Japan's newly formed Information Self-Defense Force, had this to say.
This is another distressing attempt by China and North Korea to further depress our faltering economy. The ISDF and Japan appeal to our allies for the military support promised us under the post-war constitution of 1946.
The fact remains that in the eyes of many in Asia, the ISDF itself is a violation of the post-war constitution, prohibiting Japan from maintaining a military force capable of striking beyond its borders. In Asia, the memories of Imperial Japan are still fresh.
afraid I have no recollection of that, Senator.
That's right. It has been a while.
Nice condom you got here.
Well, thanks. I got a space set up for you in the forecastle. You can make yourself to home and, heck, no one will even know you're here.
Bruce Morgenholt has been kidnapped by a Peruvian separatist group known as the People's Voice. Morgenholt's knowledge of dangerous computer algorithms must not fall into the hands of the People's Voice or their leader, Hugo Lacerda.
Fisher, an American engineer named Bruce Morgenholt has been kidnapped by a Peruvian separatist group called the People's Voice. Their suspected leader, Hugo Lacerda, is a hardcore revolutionary preaching information warfare as the only realistic means to achieve revolution in modern society. We need you to get in there and recover or destroy any information Morgenholt may have been forced to divulge, and if possible, rescue him. As for Lacerda, he's just been bumped onto our target of opportunity list. So if you have a shot, take it.
Hostage rescue isn't normally our bag, but Morgenholt was part of Project Watson, the UN committee that studied Philip Mass's handiwork after Georgia. Some people are worried that this kidnapping is just a cover-up, and that Morgenholt is being interrogated for classified information about the Mass kernels. Fact is that some of the tricks Mass came up with could be used to do a lot of damage. We need to contain that information at all costs.
The target area is a lighthouse attached to an abandoned Spanish colonial-era fortification and some nearby structures. We don't have an exact location on Morgenholt, so you'll have to find him yourself. Insertion will be at night by Zodiac onto the beach beneath the fort. Thermal imaging shows that there are some old natural and semi-natural caves under the fort, so you may be able to use those for infiltration.
All right, Fisher. The helicopter will drop you a few kilometers offshore in the Zodiac. You'll have one of my Zodiacs and logistical support in and out of the target area. Extraction will be by helicopter from the top of the lighthouse.
Displace International holds the contract with Wright Pritchard Technologies to protect their VIPs in potentially hostile situations. We did a thorough threat evaluation for their project in Peru, and we accepted the VIP detail on Morgenholt. The guys who came after him knew what they were doing. This was not a tourist grab. I lost 3 good men in the snatch, and I'm currently preparing a rescue plan for approval from Morgenholt's family and Wright Pritchard. This is going to cost Displace a lot of money.
So this is a new thing in Splinter Cell, or in this game, in Chaos Theory. Briefing. So a lot of the main characters will give you a little briefing before each mission. Another new thing is a sort of a customization on the items you can use in each level. So here we have Redding's recommendation, and Redding is our new weapons guy. He takes over for the lady from Pandora Tomorrow. I think her name was Cohen. I can't remember. And so these are just things that he thinks would be the best for the certain level that you're going to be playing. And then there's also your basic stealth and assault options. So assault has a lot of ammo and a lot of items that will make a lot of noise, whereas stealth has less ammo and more items that are, very quiet. So, like, for me, it doesn't really matter all too much, but for the sake of being stealth, I'll just choose stealth. So, saving the game kind of takes a little while. It takes a few seconds, so I'll just try to cut those out whenever I can. But we now are given control of Sam Fisher. So, let's see. A lot of the controls are the same from the previous game. Y is to jump, B is to stand and crouch, X is to pull out your weapon, and A is to use things. Left on the D-pad is your night vision, right is your thermal vision, and up we have a new thing. This is your EMF, or your electromagnetic field or something vision. I don't know, but pretty much it just allows you to see electronics. So you can see those wires, and then you can also see that lamppost right there. So that's a nifty little thing to kind of help you see some things that you might have missed otherwise. So in the top right corner, you have your health. In the bottom right, you'll see that there's a little crosshair symbol. That means you have new objectives. So you press the back button, and that brings up your little menu system. This is not a pause screen, so as you can see, I can still control the camera. Things are still moving around. So yeah, do not try to pause the game with this, but we can check our goals, and we can see each one that we have here. We can also press A to get a more detailed view of it. But you'll notice we also have primary objectives, secondary, and opportunity objectives. Primary objectives are required for you to actually beat the level, so you have to complete every single one of those. Secondary objectives are, I suppose, optional objectives, but if you don't do them in this level, they will be a primary objective in the next level. So it's either a do it now or do it later. Opportunity objectives aren't required to be done at all. So you can really like do them whether you want to or don't want to. It's kind of a take it or leave it. The only thing that it actually affects is your score at the end of a level. So each level has its own score based off of 100%, and the more you mess up, the more you kill enemies, or the more you do other things, it will lower that score. Not doing opportunity objectives will lower it. I'll get more into that once we actually finish the level. I'll skip over notes for now, and we'll take a look at data. This is just files that you'll get off of computers. A map will show a map of the entire area, so you can zoom in and out with the left joystick, rotate the camera with the right, and press the L and R buttons to move from section to section. Now, all of these sections are ordered in the path that you are supposed to go. So when you keep hitting the right trigger, it will go from room to room that you're supposed to go to in the game. And this is pretty much the way you'll be traversing each level, by going through each of the rooms that, you know, the map goes through. And then we're also given equipment, so you can get a little description of all of the items that you have on you. Start is the actual pause button, and so we have a quick save and a save option. A quick save is exactly that. You click this and it will just quick save. So it will just save over the same slot over and over and over each time you use it, whereas save gives you the opportunity to choose which ones you want to save over. I'm not really sure why I actually saved there, but you are given 5 slots to save, and so there are no more checkpoints in this game, which is awesome. Like this, that's something Splinter Cell really needed. Checkpoints was kind of frustrating to deal with in the previous game, so it's really nice that you can save whenever you want to, and you can save like right before, you know, pesky areas that you might have some trouble with. So I think we can, begin with the pistol, but since this is an original Xbox game, and I'm playing it on the 360, the 360 doesn't have black and white buttons. So instead, it uses the left and right bumpers. To use the right bumper, or using the right bumper, will make Sam whistle. And so that can be used to distract enemies. And, distract enemies. Left bumper, when you hold it, it will bring up all of your items, and that's how you switch in between them. When you press the left bumper, it will switch between the 2 items that were previously equipped. Now, if you have 2 items equipped on your SC-20K, or, you know, your last 2 items were, you know, items from that gun, you'll switch between them. So I have the airfoil round, and then I switch, and then it switches over to the sticky shocker. When you have your SC-20K out and you press the left bumper, you can switch the attachments, and that's a new thing on this game. The SC-20K has attachments. So this one is the foregrip. That will pretty much just reduce the amount of recoil when you fire your gun. And the launcher is exactly what it was in the previous games. It will fire all of your attachments. Now, the SC pistol, this has been upgraded as well. It has something called the OCP. When you fire that at some sort of electronic device, like a light bulb right there, it will temporarily disable it. So you'll see the light on the right of it. It's green. That means it successfully did it. If it's red, it means you missed. Now in the bottom right corner, you'll see next to the SC pistol and the amount of ammo, you'll see that bar. That's just the recharge bar. So you can't really just spam this over and over again. You kind of have to, you know, make your shot count. So on the bottom right, you'll also see a like radar symbol with a 0. That's how many alarms you triggered during this level. Below that is the light meter. We've seen it before, but in this game, there is now something completely new. There's a bar below that, and that is the sound meter. So as you move around, you'll make a certain amount of sound, and you'll also notice a like open square right there on top of the sound meter. That is the amount of ambient noise. So if the amount of noise you make stays underneath that bar, enemies won't be able to hear you, but as soon as you go over that, enemies will be able to make out your sound compared to the sound around you, and that's when they'll notice you. So you always want to try to stay below that bar. Also, when you have your gun out, when you press on the left joystick, you will switch views. And let's see, clicking on the right stick will bring out your EEV. And this is pretty much your binoculars, but it has other functions that I'll get into later. One of them, it allows you to listen in on conversations from a distance, so you can hear them a lot more clearly and louder. And yeah, pressing on the left joystick against the wall is how you put your back against it, which I can't actually do here. But yeah, I can do it right here, I think. No, I can't. I can do it here. Well, whatever. It's the left joystick. You get the idea. And here we automatically put our back against the wall, so it's now nice and seamless. And, you know, the previous games you kind of had to, like, press the button and put your back against the wall and then go past it. But in this game, they make it real nice and easy. Just kind of go through.
I'm hearing gunfire down there, Fisher. Everything all right?
It's coming from up ahead, but Lambert. And I think Gorilla. I think Kalashnikov.
What do you mean?
I've had enough AKs fired at me in my time to tell you that wasn't one.
All right. See if there's anything unusual going on with their equipment. And keep us posted.
There's some kind of caves back here. Look! Look! There's some kind of old bridge there. You know, I heard that smugglers used to use these old caves. Smugglers? See, they probably had all sorts of secret passages and tunnels down here. Come on. Whoa! Careful! It's safe, don't worry. Where are you going? Careful! Maybe it's not safe. Don't be a fool. Old caves like these are dangerous. I'm not going any further. Fine, do what you like. Well, I'm gonna head back. Okay. I'm going to stay here and enjoy the view.
Now, this is another new thing in this game. A lot of the enemies will talk to each other. I guess it's not necessarily a new thing, but they do it a lot more in this game. And so whenever there's a conversation, I think I'll just try to listen to it whenever I can. And one thing before we head on, you'll notice there is a little path down there. That leads to a little alternate route you can take. I'm not going to, but I just thought I'd mention it. You might also notice on the bottom right, we now have something that looks like a little clipboard or something. I'll show that off once we get a better chance. Right now, I kind of don't want to miss this opportunity because he's on, you know, a certain path, and I want to make sure I get here fast enough.
I think you're right about the equipment, Sam.
Yeah? They got themselves a little stockpile of high-tech kit here.
Try and find out where they got it. See if those crates have SSCC barcodes on them and scan them with your EEV.
So, those crates that he wants us to find, those are those crates right there. You can also spot them using your EMF vision. So they light up like that as if they're like, you know, some sort of electronic device. But one thing that's really nice about your EEV is that instead of forcing you to like actually like physically go up to the crate and check it out, you can wirelessly do it with your EEV.
The SSCC code is lot 1 of 5. See if you can find the other 4.
I'll do my best.
So you can kind of see like how this is going to turn out to be a really great thing, because if there's something that has wireless capabilities, we will be able to wirelessly connect to it with our EEV. That includes computers. So that is like one huge improvement they made to this game that makes it so much nicer. And yeah, I mean, there's like so many things about this game that they did that makes it like easier, but the game itself isn't really like easier itself. It's kind of like the same difficulty, but I don't know, I'll talk about it a little bit more once I get a chance. But for now, this level is going to mostly be like tutorial stuff, and we've got a good chance to look at our notes now. So as things happen in games, or in the game, as enemies talk to each other, or as you see things or go past things, notes will be written down and you can take a look at them. So they'll just contain like certain information that might help you. And we also have a new objective, which is our opportunity objective: scan the barcode of the delivered crates. So, yeah, that's what we will be doing. Now that that guy is there, we have another crate that's down here, but we also have this guy that's firing his gun. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that out. So, I'm in complete darkness, and then I'm going to scan the crate that's right there. And before the light comes back on, I am going to head all the way back over to here. And I am going to wait on this guy to make his rounds again. Okay, and while this guy is doing this, I think I'll mention that generator right there. The thing with the red on it. You know, that's what's powering like all of the devices around here. You can flip that off if you want to, and all the lights would go out, but enemies would be able to just flip it back on. Now, if you want to disable it for good, you can actually pierce it with your knife. And the knife is something that I completely forgot to talk about. But you can pierce the gas tank with your knife so that they won't be able to turn it back on, so the lights would stay off for good. Of course, it's only the lights in the area that the generator is in. So I will, or actually, let me just say that it makes a lot of noise. So of course, stabbing something with your knife kind of makes a little bit of noise, so that is something to be careful of. But I will go into the knife a little bit later once I get a chance. There's a whole bunch of story stuff that happens like fairly quickly in this game, so I kind of just, there's a lot of stuff I'll have to hold off talking about until later.
Don't you think he's had enough? He's had enough when he can't talk. Talking? Madre de Dios, he hasn't been able to speak for an hour. He could be faking it. Jesus!
See, I bet he's faking it.
Faking it? His tongue is a lump of coal. His brain is...
Enough! Saul, give him more. It's already at the maximum. What? Should I bring down another battery?
What do you say, amigo? You want another battery? Wait a minute.
His ears! Look! Smoke!
I think I'm going to be ill.
I think he's dead.
Only one way to be sure.
So there were originally 3 guys down there. One guy had to run out. One guy is still in there, and then this guy's going to be walking around. Up top there was a medkit. Medkits work just like they did in Pandora Tomorrow. So it's not like the first game where you just kind of hold on to it as an inventory item. It's kind of a, you use it as it comes up. And as soon as that guy comes or goes up there... okay, I'm clear. He'll kind of stand up there for a second, and oh, I thought this guy would have moved already, but I guess not. But now that he's there, I can actually continue onward.
Stinks.
It doesn't sound too good down there, Fisher.
The sound isn't the problem. You should smell it.
You're sure he's dead?
Deader than Elvis.
All right. Leave the body. We still need to recover any traces of the interrogation. Grim will call you back.